on the shoulders of the unknown, on the shoulders of the known and unknown. Will Connell, Roy Campbell, Billy Bang, Gene Lee, Steve Neal, Jimmy Garrison, Amiri Baraka, Andrew Hill, Hendrix, Nina Simone, Michael Jackson, Clifford Brown, Booker Little, Sun House, Sun Ra, B.B. King, Sarah Vaughan, Thelonious, Ornette, Dolphy, Isla, Miles, James Brown, Fat Girl and Train, Gloria Lynn, Billie Holiday, and a mighty, mighty mega multitude of others, known and unknown, in our hallowed, holographic, Holocaust museums of black music. Another one of the cast have just passed, waved, and bye. Went back on up there, I mean like, really, really high. Just riding that note so swift, sustained B sharp on the back to the tonic, supersonic augmented fifth. We knew him then, we knew them then, and we know them now. As their spirits joins the many others who are always present, like Mad Deep. As they peer over our unconscious shoulders while we live life awake in degrees of sleep. Another pair of eyes have just been added to the collection of the many known and unknown. Those shadow eyes. Some sad, some happy, some bugged out bloodshot slits, and some big bright headlights popping clear and round. As they never fail to take their places when inspired, thus summoned to the call. Ya yo amigo me llama Dios, Arumba, Arumba, Arumba yo. The summoned to the call to come down and dwell amongst the living. A timeless ritual of overseeing the proceedings, offering cosmic support along the extended dark matter branch of communication with the eternal. Our soul's source, our absolute inspiration. Summoned, they appear from that dimension. They appear from nowhere and move amongst the breathing to give, to take, to pass, then to wait for us. Summoned, they silently appear, becoming real clear in degrees of happening, igniting that warm, mystical, magical light, igniting that warm, mystical, magical light in the music. Summon, they, from that shadow world, extend their hellos and never let me goes until we meet again, and not just limited to foe, family, and friends, but to open, unafraid minds, hearts, and souls. There they go, 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 there they go. But it's never, ever goodbye. Wonder what be going on. Wonder what be going on in those little heads of theirs. They ask so many questions, it really shows they care. I wonder what be going on In those innocent little minds, with all the mess that's going about, they must withstand these times. Wonder what be going on as how the world appears. Sometimes their eyes roll about and stop with a pensive stare. I wonder what be going on when they begin to see. I hope their hearts stay pure in love and will stand like a sturdy tree. I wonder what be going on as they grow into me and you. I hope they'll be guided by the hand of love, 'cause they are soon rule. I wonder what be going on. Wonder what be going on. Wonder what be going on when they're old enough to be. I hope they'll be able to consider themselves as being truly free. I hope they'll be able to consider themselves as being truly free. I hope they'll be able to consider themselves as being truly free. Wonder what be going on. Wonder what be going on. Wonder what be going on. And we sat beside the river. The water was still and smooth, shimmery slick, reflecting dotted colored lights of off and on, come and go fast and slow from life on the opposite bank. And between us and it, the river was happy that night, not making any waves as the air when the water harmoniously touched, both reflecting God's wondrous hidden beauties. And it was meant to be. Yes, it was meant to be. Yes, it was meant to be. And we were aware without making a single sound, yet the vibes were strong but soft as they floated freely around like dolphins here and there while the water played tag with the rocks. Then suddenly, at the same time, like clockwork, we both emerged from that deep, peaceful, tranquilized. No, we both emerged from that deep, peaceful, far away, tranquilized trance and looked up in a knowing, calm, and quiet glance and focused in like a telescope into each other's starry eyes and smiled and said nothing but everything. Baltimore. 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 What more? Baltimore. Desperate, nowhere to turn, thoroughly melanated African sprouts, shoots, and fruits. Born and connected to deep, blood-stained, rooted, ancient, super black living trees. African melanated sprouts, shoots, and young tender man-child fruits struggle in a world of post-bebop, underground hip-hop, within an illusionary post-racial, paranoid melting pot, festering on a "we still fighting the Civil War" attitude laid out on an outdated, defoliated, totally constipated platform of fear. These millions of melanated man-child, voiceless, invisible shoots and fruits from weathered, deep roots of strong, super strong, blood-stained ancient black trees, black living trees, turns and asks the polka dot, the shivering polka dot elephant that's facing the wall in the room. They ask, who speaks for them? They ask, who speaks for you? They ask, who speaks for me? Who speaks for me? Is there anyone out there who can demystify the question? If so, please. As silent captives in the land of the free, wait. With no real voice and illusion of a choice, who speaks for me? Who backs my cold orange, cold red thing up in the flesh or out? Am I a true red, white, and blue individual who's been accepted into a for real visible group? Or am I a hazy blue silent myth that's defined through a 55-inch high-definition plasma screen programmed into a portable headphone, Walkman, MP3, iPod weighing future that's been scooped, bamboozlingly duped into an illusionary sense world of diversions? Who speaks for me? But were it not for me, this brutal slave-stained experiment would not spiritually, creatively, or financially be. We are far more greater than a street full of mothers with wailing faces, chalk-etched silhouettes and spent shell cases on a blue light crime scene investigations wrapped in canary yellow tape from the plague of grassroots frustration. We are far more greater than unproductive, obsolete, misplaced, misfit, rent-paying props on someone else's stolen legacy of a stage where no one else, where neither the foreign main characters or their deceptive stage technicians have any regards. We are far more greater than our hopeless illusions of a subsidized neo-slave video in the same day Styles Change support of Birth of a Nation, featuring bitches, niggas, and house with enunciated pose, who strut brick roads on the 1 in 4/4 time in the direction of nowhere. Portrayals of braiding hair on the porch and eating watermelon and chicken with a faraway look of blank eyes and no vision. Who speaks for me? Who speaks for me? Is it possible today or even thinkable of anyone speaking in the spirit of Chaliyah Bird Parker? The genius of Bud Powell. God bless the child, Lady Day, how high the moon, Sarah, the nearness of you, Ella, as Miles smiles on his own sweet way into a cool up-tempo CP time of so what? As he runs the voodoo down, while Catherine Dunham, Evelyn Ailey, Bill T. Jones, never letting us forget the high sophistication of our ancient moves, as Amiri Baraka runs down the blues people's blues, with Eddie Jefferson bebop raps and scats Coleman Hawkins lines on, body and soul, body and soul, body and soul, and the moon still glows and they don't even know of where, how, or why. As Ornette Sun Ra, Albert Isla, Charles Gale takes the extreme force of the blues out and beyond the stratospheric skies, as beneath the underdog Mingus stands on brilliant corners with the evidence that Thelonious and Sonny did not lie. In the Iron Man, Eric Dolphy wore shades to protect their sensitive eyes from the light of the Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, John Coltrane, El Hajj Malik, El Shabazz truth of what really was and still is and will be as quiet as it's kept. But if there dare be such a thing in our flesh or out, It'd be interesting to know the author and producer of their show, like who writes their lines, 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 quotation, exclamation, dialogue, like who wrote the script, who's writing the script, and who's their makeup man with the pencil and powder kit. Who speaks for you? Who speaks for me? Who speaks for us? Who speaks for we? The Underground, by request. Alive and struggling to withstand the attitude of Western commercial domination, alive and struggling and determined to musically search uncharted waters and explore unlabeled realms while stepping out on faith each time to express uncompromisingly our inner truth's outer beauty. Alive and struggling in the underground shed while practicing and praying for the opportunity to have live ears instead of empty halls and vacant chairs for an audience. Alive and struggling and praying through practicing for acceptance into the wide community of expression to expose, disclose, reveal one's existence and be taken seriously. Alive and struggling. To be and not to bark, to crawl and not to walk, to look and not to see, to exist and not be free. What a choice. As the underground has no print, video, or voice except unto them very selves. Alive and struggling. No dropping and a serious juggling, keeping it up while holding it down. Job, wife, girl, friend, kids, bills, life. But they shed anyway, pondering through many a night. But they shed anyway, going over their heads and stretching out as far as they can, still linked to the blues bridge of tradition. But they shed anyway, in hopes of being ever ready to leave a lasting impression on those who would be blessed enough to hear them when they express their collective selves. But they shed anyway. Rethinking, rehearsing, reflecting, rethinking, rehearsing, reflecting, rethinking, rehearsing, reflecting on the sound, the spirit, the music, in order to survive, to write and arrange, to rewrite, rearrange, and after erasing and crossing out to add on and turn around until pleased, and that statement is sound. Alive and struggling. They manage to faithfully meet at least once a week with their collective self to share and disagree and agree to play soft, agree to play hard, agree to play angry, agree to play love, agree to play joy, and agree to play beautiful for you. Peace. Peace. Can we handle it? Peace. Can we handle it? Can we even under, over, outer, and inner stand a simple peanut butter and jelly concept of it? Recognize and take it by the hand of it. Embrace, steadfast, and not be ashamed of it? While in a world of insecure, non-transparent paper puppets of it? Peace. Can we handle it? Can we define it? Take an inward journey to seek and to find it? Has it ever taken a witness stand? And when was the last time it's taken us by the hand and toward the scene? Would it be recognized in a colorful 3D high-definition dream? Peace. Can we handle it, and what does it mean? In a stressed-out, corporate, anti-jazz, art, love, and compassion world whose saber-rattling and goose-stepping is fueled with a blind, exuberant consumption through unreal, blood-red, surreal, chaotic cyber realities of a confused, twisted illusion on a blue, rotating, pulsating doom? Peace. Can we handle it? And for what? And for whom when assumed? Will someone have to be escorted to the exit and leave the room? Peace. Can we handle the harmony within the balance of it? Can we open up to the light and seek the challenge of it? Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still to breathe deep and choose the conscious skies of clarity and soar with the smooth ease of a peace eagle, high above the manipulation of fear, greed, and ignorance, while gliding on the winds of freedom, while on the wings of knowing in the direction of hope of it, securely. Peace. Can we handle it? Break bread. Can we handle it to break bread and unconditionally share to all its life-giving nourishment, unconditionally share to all its life-giving nourishment that grows within a rich soil of it, giving strength to build shelter and clothe human temples within the warmth and protection of it? Peace. Can we handle it? Define it. Take an inward journey to seek and to find it for one and for whom and assume. Will someone have to leave the room? Big, bright, early orange sun on a vast east horizon. It's now time to renew our vows to it and connect to the cosmos of it, to light up and reflect the goodness of it while alive, living in the love of it, while alive, living in the love of it, while alive, living in the love of it. Peace. Can we handle it? I'm going to read this last piece, and this is dedicated to an individual who, wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be here. This is Pop. Thank you. We'll miss you. Hated to see you leave the room. See you when we get there, and this is an honest and humble tune. In the way things are moving so fast, just might see you very soon. I sometimes feel your presence when just being, when alone in quiet, dark rooms, reminiscing visually the great times, along with those struggles we both had too. And I respect that, because there's only love. No bitterness, just an inside weeping sad. Weeping, yeah, I weep because you're beautiful. I weep because your dad. And I learn from your experiences with always enough room to let me deal with mine. You allow me to be myself and maintain in such a demanding time. And I saw how you made people happy. And I try to emulate your style, because my dad is granddad, and hopefully his spirit will remain forever and a while. Yes, my dad. Progressive, stylish, unique compared to today. He always came back and maintained himself while on edges of very wide horizons in his quest, searching through life to experience his dream. And while on his journey, we watched, listened, learned, grew strong, stayed together and clean, and all the while engulfed in art and music, which healed, gave strength, and soothed. I remember the electricity, the electrically charged spirit of those bright Saturday morning living room, wide open kitchen window rituals, so seriously hip soul serenade sounds blasting out from 15-inch hi-fi stereo speakers, echoing off primary pastel painted project concrete walls of our small housing authority cubicles on a fenced-in brick reservation. Those sounds he whispered, those sounds he worshiped, introduced me to a bird called Parker. Ted and Leroy Jones written rap, Sarah Vaughan piping on How High the Moon, Train explains in a condensed everything on Eckstein's I Want to Talk About You as Miles eases into all blues, all keeping pace with Roy Haynes doubling up between the lines as cymbal glide, bass drum double kicking on full real smooth. I remember those sounds. The pictures on the wall, the books, those conversations, him in a crouch stance, snapping on 2 and 4, head pointed up and off to the side with a faraway look in his eyes, just trying to hear the message while decoding the sounds of bird solo into a language of deep meaning. A language whose sound echoed through the reservation and changed the function of those bricks of containment to a tool that amplified the sounds of enjoyment. A language whose sound and meaning spoke of hope. A language whose sound and meaning spoke of freedom. Bird lives. Bird still lives. Bird lives. Oh yeah. Bird lives and flew beyond. He even showed us what to eat, what not to eat, and how to be creative with our life's serious sustenance. Food. You was, still is, will be together, and likewise I the same. So say hello to all our friends past the part, and please, say hello to Train. This is an honest and humble tune, and where the temple's at, we might see you. We might see you very soon. Your spirit lives within me, although I hated to see you leave the room. But take it easy. Take it easy, living tune. Thank you. Pop. Peace.
Thank you.